After missing out on yet another trophy last season, we begin Season 4 under real pressure. If we don't win a trophy this season or qualify for the Champions League, it could well be my last at Crystal Palace Football Club. Now, every Palace fan around the world knows exactly the score and the situation with Mark Gay at the back end of last season. Heading into the last year of his contract, and his refusal to sign an extension meant that he was desperate to leave on a Bosman-free transfer, and with his departing shot to Crystal Palace to concede a penalty in the dying moments of the Europa League final against PSV, and he got his wish, leaving unceremoniously out of Selhurst Park, with Newcastle United being the lucky ones who were able to snap him up. However, with that only leaving me with three senior centre-backs in Joachim Andersen, of course Kazunu, the new man who came in at the beginning of Season 3, and of course the ever-present Willian Pacho, it means that with this three-man at the back system, I certainly need to bring in a replacement. Now, as you can see on this shortlist, I've got a wide variety of different players, some who are in the prime of their career, others who are perhaps on the younger side who can look to grow and develop here at Crystal Palace Football Club. But when I was reviewing the options that I already have at the club, I kind of feel now is the time to make a very bold move. As you can see, Joachim Andersen, the club captain, has been an ever-present for me and has been an inspirational figure at the back, but with him being 30 years of age and only 83 rated, hardly likely to improve, I'm starting to feel like he is now the weak link in this back line and someone that I'm going to have to improve if I want to take this team to the next level. And with the board wanting me to go one step further this season and qualify for the Champions League for the first time in Palace's history, and giving me a transfer budget of £137 million to do so, when the press came knocking on my door wanting to know what I was doing as the fans were starting to ask questions, once again it's time for me to turn to my scouts. A player I have already recommended in previous scout reports is Piers Schurz. I seriously think Schurz could be an incredible piece of business, young, tall and surprisingly dynamic going forward. His time at Ajax and Torino has curated him into a strong ball carrier. Being able to have our centre-backs move into midfield with the ball will allow our forward players the ability to utilise the half spaces. As a team, we're quite impotent from range. Schurz has the ability to open up long-range efforts and increase our overall dynamism. And so as you can see, it is finally time to welcome our first signing of Season 4, a man who is impressed in the Dutch League, a man who's impressed in the Italian League, and is hoping to get the opportunity to impress in the Premier League as well. But now 26 years of age on this game, entering his prime years and having all of the attributes to be a success, it is time to say hello to Piers Schurz, who joins for £42.5 million. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful, he's got great pace, and he's got absolutely everything that I believe he needs to be a success here at Crystal Palace Football Club. He will jump straight into the starting 11, and what a way to kick off Season 4. Now, looking at the other areas of the team that I need to improve, for me, there is one very clear area. Now, Terry Moffey had a fairly decent overall start in his first season here at Crystal Palace, forming a pretty decent striking partnership with this man, Dominic Solanke. However, last season, he had an absolute shocker, really struggled in front of goal, and with him now entering his prime years and only being 80 rated and being one of the weakest members of my starting 11, and with him only having 11 months left on his contract, I certainly do not want a repeat of the situation that happened with Mark Gay. He said he's disappointed to be transfer listed and he will be very sorry to go, but if I want to take this team to the next level this season, I must be ruthless. And with Aston Villa interested in his services for a fee of £19.4 million, once again it's time to say bye-bye to another player here at Crystal Palace Football Club, as Terry Moffey will depart Selhurst Park to become the second man to leave the club at the start of Season 4. Now, obviously, with me playing two up front, it's clear that I certainly need to bring in a replacement for him, and whilst the likes of Eze and Olise and Matthias Franker have done a decent job for me in that position, I still feel like I need a world-class talent to come in and partner this man Dominic Solanke. And once again, with the press circling around wanting to get the scoop as to the latest transfer rumours coming out of Crystal Palace, I turn to my scouts once more. With Gonzalo Ramos' move to PSG failing miserably, a move to a rejuvenating Prem side is on the cards. His dribbling, along with his passing and scoring ability, will easily outstrip Solanke or Moffey. And with Terry Moffey being terrible this season, needing to be replaced immediately, Ramos brings better shooting, dribbling and passing to the table. And so there you have it once again. Whilst I've got several different options to choose from on my shortlist, another one of my key scouts has spoken. And so I finally think it is time for Crystal Palace to show some true ambition and absolutely break the bank for a genuine world-class superstar. A man who is tipped to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal, and someone who in just 14 international appearances has already racked up 8 goals. And while some might argue he hasn't set the world alight at PSG, I think he has all the attributes necessary to be an absolute revelation here in the Premier League for Crystal Palace, and so that is why it is finally time to welcome the second signing of the summer for an absolutely colossal fee of £73 million. We've absolutely smashed the club record transfer fee be, but if we want to get in the Champions League, we've got to make some big decisions. And this man coming in, entering his prime years, and already coming in and immediately improving my attack, I think he's the perfect signing. He can be a fantastic mentor to the likes of Eze and Olise and of course Matthias Franca, but going straight into the team up front, that is a real statement signing from Crystal Palace. Now after those two signings, we've got £26 million still left in the budget, and some might argue that we can still make some improvements to this team, potentially on the left-hand side of defence. But with the likes of Tyrick Mitchell and of course Quentin Merlin now both at an 81 rating, and with the pair of them performing at a fairly decent level over the course of this career mode, I think they've earned enough respect to at least be able to show what they can do for the first 6 months of the season before I want to consider diving back into the transfer market for a potential replacement for them. And so with that in mind and the squad now settled, following on from the arrival of two whopping new signings, it's finally time to see what these two new players can bring to Crystal Palace Football Club, as yet again, just like the start of last season, we are heading to Villa Park to start our Premier League campaign against the Midlands club. And of course it will be a debut for my two new signings, with Henderson in goal, Martinez, Kasunu, Schürrle, Pacho and Mitchell at the back, Decore, Conor Gallagher and Kamada in midfield, with Solanke with his new striking partner Gonzalo Ramos. Here we go then, a big moment at the start of the season, and this is a real good opportunity for us to set a tone and put a real marker down here as to what we want to achieve. We absolutely have to get 3 points here. We want to start this season on the right foot. It's Cucurella for Villa to get us started here, with Rodgers playing it down the left-hand side into that man Terry Moffey. I'm sure how much he would love to get a goal on his return to face off against Crystal Palace. But he ends up getting a corner for his troubles, and it's one that Buendia is going to take. He plays it short to Fratesi. Conor Gallagher, though, with a really good challenge and wins the ball back and just turns away beautifully. Really nicely done by the English international. Arnau Martinez to bring this one forward. He's going to just try and loop this one over the top into Kamada. Wasn't the best ball, though. Kamada can't get on the end of it, and Cucurella brings it clear. It's been a slow start here at Villa Park in the opening 15 minutes. Neither team really able to carve out any decent opportunities, but Terry Moffey tries to do so here. But Martinez in the end with a really good challenge, and now he's got the opportunity, Gallagher, to try and release that man Gonzalo Ramos, but at the moment he's just beaten to it by Pau Torres. We can't seem to break that Aston Villa back line at the moment as Rodgers brings it forward now into Mukhtar. Lovely little turn into Terry Moffey, but Kazunu this time puts a challenge in, and at the moment he's not having any luck. It's Gonzalo Ramos now with his first real foray, hopefully, into the Aston Villa half here as he plays a lovely ball into Kamada. That is a world-class ball right across, now across into Dominic Solanke, who says thank you very much, and right on the 30-minute mark we open the scoring here at Villa Park. Well, I brought him in for his goals, but perhaps his creativity is an added bonus. Absolutely fabulous ball through from Gonzalo Ramos, completely open up the defence. Kamada was in on it, and of course the simple pass across the box into Solanke, who was not going to miss an open goal from there. 1-0 Crystal Palace. Mitchell with the throw into Decore. Decore, though, gives the ball away in a really dangerous position. Mukhtar across to Terry Moffey. Terry Moffey lines up a shot, plays it over. But frustratingly, though, Aston Villa have got a free kick here in the process, and it's one that Buendia is going to step up to take. It's a wonderful free kick off the bar. The keeper could do nothing about it. Kazunu heads it clear, only out as far as the edge of the box. Buendia keeps it alive for Aston Villa here. They are really starting to turn the screw. It's a good save once again from Dean Henderson. Mitchell keeps it in play, and I will just try and hack this one clear. Well, I've got to be honest, it's been a bit of a shaky opening 45 minutes here for Crystal Palace. We have taken the lead, but it's the only real chance we were able to carve out. Aston Villa have been all over us, but at the moment I will take it. We lead 1-0, and things certainly could be worse. Conor Gallagher now into Kamada, who's come deep. Solanke picks it up, and he's surely going to look for an option up ahead of him. Almost finds an option of Gonzalo Ramos, who's just beaten to it by the centre-back. It's Martinez now once again gives the ball away to Conor Gallagher. Our passing has been really, really poor. Aside from that wonderful ball through from Gonzalo Ramos, we just haven't been able to find our men at the moment, as Kazunu brings it out of defence and eventually does manage to find Arnau Martinez, who can now try and see if he can drive forward here. Gonzalo Ramos to try and get himself involved in the game has come short, and Decore now has the chance to try and play it forward. He's too slow with it, and now Aston Villa can try and burst forward yet again. It's Eli Wahi to try and see if he can get past Piers Schürrle, but the man on his debut holding firm. That's exactly the sort of challenge you want to see from him. We've got about 20 minutes remaining on the clock here. As you can see, I have made a couple of substitutions. One of those is Merlin down the left-hand side, and that's a good ball into Gonzalo Ramos, who shifts it onto his right, lines up a strike. What a strike it was. Good save. Really, really good strike there from Gonzalo Ramos. Inches away from getting a goal on his debut. Conor Gallagher, though, is going to throw it into the box, looking for William Pacho. Can't quite find him. Solanke will hopefully get onto the loose ball. He does, and he nods it back into Conor Gallagher, who just dinks it across the box, looking for Szymanski on as a sub. Can't quite get there. Good defending in the end from Villa. Soto for Villa. into Fratesi. We are heading into the final 10 minutes here. Szymanski was just inches away from getting away there and getting that ball back in a lovely challenge, but it's Kessler Harrison now to try and bring this one forward for Aston Villa. Turns around though, can't quite seem to just get past our low block. Terry Moffey though is blocked off again by Pierce Schurz. Commanding defensive performance from the young man, and now it's a ball into Gonzalo Ramos, and now the Portuguese can try and see if he can streak forward here. Can't get away from Pau Torres. It's been a real ding-dong battle between the two of them all game, and at the moment it seems like Pau Torres is just the man who's leading it. Kukurea into Wahi. Out to Moussa Diaby on this left-hand side. He's got the beating of Daniel Munoz for pace, who's frantically coming across, trying to defend. What a save from Henderson. I thought that was the equaliser right there. Mukhtar with the throw. We are in the dying minutes of this game here. All we've got to do is just hold firm, make sure we don't give away anything silly here. Mukhtar trying to see if he can find a route into the box. Kessler Hayden tries to see if he can cross it in. He can't. It's blocked. Still got hold of it. Gray has it now. Gray will do anything just to hack it clear. It is away, and the referee blows for full time. Well, we were not at our best, that is for sure, but Crystal Palace get the job done. A much needed victory at the beginning of the season, and that is exactly the sort of start we want if we want to qualify for the Champions League this season. Full time here it finishes Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 1. And despite the revolving door up front here at Crystal Palace, there is one man that always seems to shine through. Dominic Solanke yet again getting on the score sheet, his first goal of the campaign. But I do have to give a shout out to this man, Gonzalo Ramos. He did have one or two chances to try and see if he could score in his debut. It didn't quite come for him, but a fabulous ball through in the early part of the first half through to Kamada was the key pivotal moment in getting the goal for us and getting the 3 points for us that helps us start off on a winning note. Another key figure though for us was certainly this man, Pierce Schurz. On his debut, he was an absolute monster at the back. He stopped every single attack that Aston Villa faced, and he absolutely dominated Terry Moffey. And it looks like my defence is stronger than ever. And as we cycle through the first half of the season, it seems like things are certainly moving in the right direction. As at the midway point of the season, Crystal Palace are not in 5th place. We're not in 4th place. We are in 3rd place in the Premier League, 35 points on the board, and we are just 2 points away from Newcastle United in 2nd. Of course, who else but Dominic Solanke is the man who's leading the goal-scoring charts with 13 goals and 2 assists to his name. Kamada is increasing his iconic stature here at Crystal Palace Football Club with 9 goals to his name as well. And whilst Gonzalo Ramos isn't in double figures yet, 6 goals is a fairly decent start to life in Crystal Palace colours. And of course, much to my surprise, the new signing at the back, Pierce Schurz, is the 4th highest goal-scoring player so far this season. 2 goals and my highest-scoring defender so far. And whilst you think performing so well in the Premier League would mean that morale is absolutely at an all-time high here at Crystal Palace, but as you can see, it's not exactly at the level that I thought it was going to be. And so looking at this team, I think it needs one more injection of freshness to try and see if we can get over the line this season. And with Tyrick Mitchell winning the battle at left-back now up to an 82 rated, and Quinton Merlin not being particularly happy about his lack of game time so far this season, I've decided to stick him on the transfer list and wave goodbye to the 24-year-old Frenchman who will become the 3rd departure of season 4 here at Selhurst Park, as somehow he manages to get a big move for Manchester United for £22.8 million. Of course though, with that now leaving us with a gaping hole on the left side of our defence that we've got to fill, and a budget of £41 million to fill it with, it's time to get down to work. And so with me wanting to bring in some European experience and someone who's entering his prime years and can come into this team and immediately make an impact in the final 6 months of this season, I've decided to bring in another man who was heavily recommended to me by one of my top scouts, and that is why I've decided to bring in the Turkish international Ferdi Kadıoğlu for £34 million. He's got that something special, and at 83 rated he's a step up from Tyrick Mitchell. He will go straight into my starting 11, and once again it is another huge signing here at Crystal Palace Football Club. And so with that injection of freshness, the second half of the season rolls on, and my word, it is an exciting one, because with just 3 games left to play of this season, Crystal Palace Football Club are still in the fight for Champions League football. 64 points on the board. We got a 4-point gap to Arsenal in 5th place. And of course, with the North London Giants up next in our very next game, we have the opportunity for these players to write their names in the history books here at Crystal Palace Football Club. Because if we can get 3 points on the board today, if we can get the win in front of our home fans here at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace Football Club will qualify for the Champions League for the first time in their history. It's a monumental ask, but it's one I'm confident we can do. If we are going to have to do it though, we're going to have to do it without our star summer signing in Gonzalo Ramos. He's picked up a suspension, but it is the moment for Eze and Olise to step up and show why he can potentially be a Crystal Palace icon. So it's Arsenal to start us off here with Emile Smith-Rowe, and it's a wonderful challenge though by the Spaniard Arnau Martinez, and look at him drive forward, but Odegaard with a really good challenge just catches him out. He wasn't expecting that one, and I've got a feeling today is going to be a real end-to-end battle between these two teams as Ben White now plays it into Saka, of course, the English darling at the moment, courtesy of his performances in Euro 2024. Odegaard into the box. I do not believe it. Every single big game, we give away a penalty, and the pattern has continued here today. This time it's Conor Gallagher who's come across. He's hacked down Odegaard in the box, and with just 8 minutes on the clock, Arsenal have got the opportunity to take the lead here. Saka perfected his penalty against Switzerland in the Euros, and he's looking to do the same thing here today at Selhurst Park. He steps up, sends me the wrong way, and Arsenal take a 1-0 lead. Well, is this written in the script of FIFA? I just do not understand. Every single big game we give away a penalty, and will it come back to bite us yet again here today? It's Gabriel now who's been chased down here by Olise, the young Englishman trying to win the ball back high up the pitch, but our press is beaten there and Arsenal are away yet again. This is some lovely football here from the North London club as Odegaard tries to go past Pacho, but he just muscles him away. Really good defending in the end, and he's going to try and see if he can dink it over to Olise, who's just straight offside. It's Arnau Martinez now to bring this one down the right hand side. That is a lovely ball down the channel into Dominic Solanke, but what option does he have? Not really many, so instead plays it back to the Spaniard who floats it across the box. This time I was looking at the back post, couldn't quite make it though. Arsenal clear their lines. Correa though tries to get past Conor Gallagher, and in his attempt to try and make amends for his earlier mistake inside the penalty area, won the ball back in a really good position. Pierre Schurz now floats it across to the left hand side into Kadaglu, and he's now going to try and see if he can burst right into the penalty area here. Looked for the cutback, couldn't find it. We do eventually manage to get it with Conor Gallagher, who lines it up with his left straight at Ramsdale. There's Odegaard once again for Arsenal out to Saka. My left hand side has just been left open here as my Turkish left back made a foray into the Arsenal half here, and they throw it into the box right on the edge here, looking to shape up a shot. Pierre Schurz is doing everything he can. Brilliant defending yet again from the young man. He has been a truly inspired signing as Olise tries to float it across into the path of Dominic Solanke. The pass just wasn't right though. So we begin the second half here, 1-0 down and in desperate need of a goal. If we let this one slip, Arsenal will be just a point behind us and they will have all the momentum to get that final Champions League spot, and we cannot let that happen, especially not on home turf here. That is a lovely little takedown though by my left back, and look at him now streak forward. What options in the box does he have? He's looking for Dominic Solanke. It's just over his head. Martinez will pick up the scraps though. Lovely little dummy, gets it back, gives it to the centre back Kazunu as we look to try and see if we can build out from the back. Pierre Schurz plays it right the way over to my left back once again, and he's got the chance now to try and see if he can play it into the box. Olise picks it up. Still Olise tries to shape it up to strike on his right. It's saved though in the end by Gabriel, I think it was, and Kamada now plays it across to Arnau Martinez, who floats it into the box, looks for the back post. We can't quite seem to get on the end of it. Yet again it's cleared away, but my defenders pick up the scraps, and it's back out to my left back now, who just tries to see if he can streak past Ben White, looking for the cutback into Solanke, finds the cutback into Solanke. Arsenal holding so firm though. Kamada into the box. Kamada looks for the cutback. This time couldn't get on the end of it. It's Solanke once again. It's blocked off. Arsenal absolutely rampant in defence at the moment. So it's Gabriel now into Saka. 65 minutes on the clock, and once again Kadaglu has won the ball back. Olise though to try and lift it over. I was trying to look for the ball into the left back, but he couldn't quite find it, and Olise been so poor with his chance to try and impress, and he really hasn't taken it. But Correa now has it for Arsenal, out to Emile Smith-Rowe, but Pierre Schurz, who has been a monster at the back, is now ghosting forward here. He's taking it all on by himself. Pierre Schurz, what can he do? Into the box he goes. Can he try and find an option? Dinks it across. Olise is not in the right place at the right time. It's headed clear by the Arsenal defenders. Conor Gallagher picks it up though, out to Doucouré. Kadaglu now has it, checks it back into Doucouré, into the path of Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher out wide, into Martinez. Martinez to throw it across the box, headed clear yet again. This is just not working for us at the moment. I'm looking for the cutback, I just can't find it because this Arsenal defence is holding firm and we're just not making the runs that we need to. Doucouré though, into Kamada. Kamada with his left, and Kamada gets the equaliser on the 80th minute. minute, and my word, we have got ourselves back on level terms here at Selhurst Park. Well, we were plugging away. We couldn't find the breakthrough, flinging balls into the box, trying to look for cutbacks. Nothing was working, but eventually the pressure was too much for Arsenal, and Kamada, with a fabulous finish in between the lines, gave the goalkeeper no chance. 1-1 here at Selhurst Park, and with just under 10 minutes remaining now, either of these two teams could go and get a winner, and my word, what a game this is shaping up to be. Absolutely end-to-end stuff, exactly as I predicted, as Saka now manages to go past Tyrick Mitchell, who's on as a sub, but eventually it's Pacho who wins the ball back into the Correa, who's run into a little bit of problems there. Arsenal win the ball back in a really good position. Correa now to try and bring this one forward. Pacho can't put a challenge in. Correa still got it. Conor Gallagher does though, and eventually they give the ball away. Szymanski now into Solanke. Now we've got the chance to try and break here. Lovely ball out to Munoz. Munoz plays it into Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher onto the edge of the box. Conor Gallagher to strike. Oh my goodness, it's stoppage time. Conor Gallagher has done it for Crystal Palace on his return back to Selhurst Park after a prolific season on loan from Chelsea. Conor Gallagher, in his first season as captain at the club, has scored the most incredible goal at the most incredible time of our season. He drove forward right onto the edge of their box and he unleashed a stunning strike that Ramsdale could do absolutely nothing about. Conor Gallagher has written his name into the history and the folklore at Crystal Palace, and he has just secured Champions League football for the first time in the club's history. Well, it's a monumental time and moment for these players. Look at the celebrations on the pitch. The Crystal Palace fans cannot quite believe what they are seeing. That man Conor Gallagher, when you want your leaders to step up, my word, he did just that today. As a full-time era finishes, Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 1. And so there it is, confirmation after 38 games played. Crystal Palace Football Club have not just finished 4th, but we have got into 3rd place in the Premier League, our highest points tally in history, 71. And this team, these players, will be playing Champions League football next season. Once again, Dominic Solanke finishes our top goal scorer with 22 goals. He deserves the shot to try and show what he can do on the highest stage. Kamada in electric form, 15 goals and 8 assists in another inspired campaign. And Gonzalo Ramos picked things up in the back end of the season. 13 goals to his name, gets himself into double figures for his first season here at Crystal Palace. But the man of the moment, Conor Gallagher, step up because your 5 goals and 6 assists proved absolutely pivotal. I'm back in the good books of the fans and the board, and with this team and these players, who knows what we can achieve heading into Season 5. But that is going to be that for the end of today's episode. Once again, let me know down below if there are any areas of this team you think I need to improve heading into our first Champions League campaign. But hopefully, I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching.